is similar in anatomy to the other felid species. It has a strong, flexible body, quick reflexes, sharp teeth, and retractable claws, adapted to killing small prey. Its night vision and sense of smell are well developed. In terms of development, the first year of a cat's life is equal to the first 15 years of a human life. After its second year, a cat is 25 in human years. And after that, each year of a cat's life is equal to about 7 human years. Yeah, it's a shame they age as quickly as they do. The average lifespan being 12 to 15 years, which isn't a lot if you think about it, considering there are other animals that live a lot longer, but it could be worse, I suppose, like hamsters, for example. They only live for an average of 2 years, I believe. I think it's so important that if you're a cat owner, you do everything in your power to make their lives as happy and comfortable as you can, and that's all you can really do for them. And I'm a firm believer that keeping stress to a minimum is another factor in how long cats live. Cats are most active around dawn and dusk, and are a solitary hunter, but a social species. They can hear sounds too faint or too high in frequency for human ears, such as those made by mice and other small mammals. Cats were first domesticated in the Near East around 7,500 BC. It was long thought that cat domestication began in ancient Egypt, where cats were highly respected from around 3,100 BC. Cats mark their owners as possessions. They have scent glands in their cheeks, paws, and flanks. When they rub against their human with it, they leave a message for other cats that they have claimed their owners. This is a fact. I think most of us know. Cats do a lot of rubbing up against things, whether it's our legs, chairs, the corners of walls, etc. I guess it's all connected. It's basically them marking their territory and their possessions. Domestic cats are usually considered to be quite small and dainty creatures, but the world's longest cat was a Maine Coon called Stewie, and was measured at 48 sitting staring at you, even if it's chocolate or something sweet. But of course we can't give them chocolate as it's poisonous. But yeah, I never knew cats didn't like anything sweet. But it makes sense if you think about it. They're interested in meat primarily, or anything meat-based for that matter. I've had many occasions as a cat owner myself when I'm eating my dinner and my cats have been on the floor staring up at me, wanting some of my chicken or whatever particular meats I happen to be eating as part of my dinner. And I think a lot of us have had that experience as cat owners. Each cat's nose print is as unique as a fingerprint. If there was a scanner for it, cats would no longer have to be microchipped. White cats with blue eyes are prone to deafness. The cause is an anomaly in their genetic makeup. I had a white cat who lived until she was 16. She was called Girly, and she had green eyes, however, not blue. But I do think that she was maybe going a little deaf in her last year or two. It's just a sense that I got from how she reacted to sound. But she was a great cat, and it was her kidneys that failed in the end that meant she had to be put down, and that was back in April of 2020, and that was the last time that I lived with a cat. When a cat chases its prey, it keeps its head level. Dogs and humans bob their heads up and down. The richest cat in the world, according to Guinness World Records, is Blackie. When his millionaire owner passed away, he refused to recognize his family in his will, and instead gave his £7 million fortune to Blackie. That is a very random fact indeed. What is the cat supposed to do with the money? It doesn't have a credit card or any means to spend it. So yeah, I think that's going to be one of the more amusing facts included in this video. Cats primarily only meow for humans. Communication with other cats takes place via body language. Yeah, this is a fact I knew about, and one that I love for that matter. The meowing is purely to communicate with us. I also love the little cute noises they make. I believe they call it chirping, but it's really cute. I have a cat who visits me, who has done so for just over a year as of the recording of this video. He lives in a street nearby, and he's called Henry. I feed him little dry catnip, which he loves, and I wet it in a bit of water to keep him hydrated. But he loves coming to visit me, and he often makes a lot of chirping noises when I'm putting his food into the bowl before serving it. And I love those little chirpy noises. They're so cute. A cat's brain is biologically more similar to a human brain than it is to dogs. Both humans and cats have identical diet, which consisted of dry cat food supplemented with broccoli, eggs, turkey bacon, coffee with cream, and every 2 days an eyedropper full of red wine. Okay, that's quite a menu there that she had. But yeah, 38 years is absolutely staggering considering the average age is 12 to 15 years. I mean, it's well over double that. It would be like if a human lived to, say, 150 or so. I think the average age of a human is around maybe the mid-70s, maybe slightly older for women. But 38 is phenomenal, and that cat really did get the best out of life. Cats sleep most of the time. It is estimated at 14 to 16 hours per day, or 70% of their life. 70% of their lives is spent asleep. That is a huge jump on humans, which I believe is around a third, so 33%, let's say. They really do love their sleep time, and I remember as a kid we had a cat called Kitty, who often found invented places to take naps, basically anywhere warm. So it could be on top of the computer console we had, or on top of the cupboards, above the oven, after it had been used, of course, and even inside the tumble dryer, which she occasionally got stuck in after my granny had thrown some clothes in and started it up. But she was always fine. You open the door and she shot back out. She was a great cat, and if I remember rightly, she was born around 1980 and lived until I think it was 1999. So she was actually older than me when she died, but she was a really friendly and affectionate cat. And I have really good and fond memories of her. The scientist Isaac Newton is most famous for calculated gravity, but it's also believed that he invented the cat door. Newton was working on his experiments at the University of Cambridge when he was constantly interrupted by cats scratching at the door. So he called the Cambridge carpenter to saw 2 holes in the door, one for the mother cat and one for her kittens. Apparently these holes can still be seen at the university today. On the 18th of October 1963, Felicity, also known as Astro Cat, was the first and only cat to go to space. Wow, I never knew that they sent a cat into space. I knew about sending a dog and I think a monkey as well, but I can't imagine that Felicity enjoyed the trip too much, however, or any animal for that matter, simply because they don't understand what's happening. 18, I expected to be extremely upset for weeks. She was such a sweet cat, and she was 18 when she died, but I knew it was coming. Her legs were starting to give out, and I had to care for her almost around the clock in her final months, but thankfully I was only upset for maybe a day or so. I felt satisfied that she was no longer in pain, and I was satisfied in my efforts that I'd given her the best possible life I could. And as I mentioned earlier, that's really all that we can do for them. One study discovered that domestic cats share 95.6% of their genetic makeup with tigers. They also share a lot of the same behaviors, such as scent and urine marking, prey stalking, and pouncing. Cats have impressive running ability, which they use to chase prey, and they can hit speeds of around 30 miles per hour in the open. The record for the loudest purr by a domestic cat is currently held by Merlin, a black and white cat from Torquay, UK. His purr is 67.8 decibels, and for context, this is nearly the same volume as a shower. Most cats purr at around 25 decibels. That sounds like something worth looking up. And another clip that comes to mind is a cat that has an incredibly deep meow. There's a short clip of him and his owner. I think his name is Jack. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it really is the deepest meow you'll ever hear. So yeah, I would encourage you guys to look that clip up. It's really something to behold. The most tricks performed by a cat in 1 minute is 24. Diga completed a series of tricks from rolling over to even jumping a bar whilst on a skateboard. Cats are North America's most popular pets. There are 73 million cats compared to 63 million dogs. Over 30% of households in North America own a cat. Researchers are unsure exactly how a cat purrs. Most veterinarians believe that a cat purrs by vibrating vocal folds deep in the throat. To do this, a muscle in the larynx opens and closes the air passage about 25 times per second. While many parts of Europe and North America consider the black cat a sign of bad luck, in Britain and Australia, black cats are considered good luck. And this is a fact that doesn't make sense to me personally. Coming from the UK, obviously, I was taught it was good luck. But to me, it makes more sense to be bad luck, as we associate black cats with witches. But in saying that, the best cat I've ever had was all black, so maybe they are good luck in the end. It really depends on your upbringing and falls of over 65 feet or 20 meters, due largely to their riding reflex. The eyes and balance organs in the inner ear tell it where it is in space, so the cat can land on its feet. Even cats without a tail have this ability. Cats hate the water because their fur does not insulate well when it's wet. The Turkish fan, however, is one cat that likes swimming. Bred in Central Asia, its coat has a unique texture that makes it water resistant. And this is very true. We associate cats with hating water, but there are some funny ones who actually like it. And again, you can see clips of them swimming around in bathtubs and places like that here on YouTube. But it is very rare, I believe, to find a cat who actually does like water. The little tufts of hair in a cat's ear that help keep out dirt direct sounds into the ear and insulate the ears are called ear furnishings. The ability of a cat to find its way home is called sigh traveling. I'm not sure if I've pronounced that right. It may be a silent P, but it's spelled P-S-I, sigh traveling. Experts think cats either use the angle of the sunlight to find their way, or that cats have magnetized cells in their brains that act as compasses. It's interesting because I have actually experienced this in my life. When I was younger, I lived next door to a family who had a cat called Sam, and they moved away around a mile or so, maybe a mile and a half, but on multiple occasions Sam found his way back to the house they moved from, and in the end they allowed him to stay there with the family who had moved in, and he remained there until he died. But it's interesting to read these facts and actually have a first-hand experience of it. A cat's back is extremely flexible because it has up to 53 loosely fitting vertebrae. Humans only have 34. Cats walk in the same sequence as camels and giraffes. Their walking sequence is both right feet first, followed by both left feet, so they move half of their body forward at once. Camels and giraffes are the only other animals to walk this way. The first cartoon These are curved and equipped with U-shaped cavities. Through these cavities, saliva is passed on to the fur and down to the skin when it is licked, which provides important cooling. Yeah, it's a funny sensation when they lick you. Missy, the black cat I mentioned earlier, she liked to lick my hand and also my cheek as well. She really was special and very affectionate. And the little bristly tongue always felt funny no matter how many times she did it. I mean, she did it for years, but I never got used to it. And it always seemed to tickle when she did it. And it made me laugh a lot. It's one of the best memories of her. And just how affectionate she was, and how she'd lick my hand when she was sat on my lap. So yeah, I have very fond memories of that cat, and I don't think in my life I will ever have a cat that I will be more fond of than Missy. Foods that should not be given to cats include onions, garlic, green tomatoes, raw potatoes, chocolate, grapes, and raisins. Though milk is not toxic, it can cause an upset stomach and gas. There is a show in Iceland called Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It's a cat reality show that features 4 kittens who live together in fully furnished cat houses, Big Brother style. That sounds amazing, to be fair. I'd actually really like to see a clip from that show. A cat's heart beats nearly twice as fast as a human heart at 110 to 140 beats a minute. Yeah, it seems the smaller the animal, the faster the heart beats. I believe a mouse's heart beats so fast that it almost sounds like a constant noise, and you have to slow it right down to hear the individual beats. Cats' whiskers are mood indicators. If they hang down relaxed, the cat is satisfied. If they are facing straight ahead, they may be angry. Cats don't have sweat glands over their bodies like humans do. Instead, they sweat only through their paws. Yeah, that's a cool fact. And it's rare to ever see a cat panting like a dog does, although I have seen it occasionally. Cats are extremely sensitive to vibrations and are said to detect earthquake tremors 10 or 15 minutes before humans can. Wow. It's a shame that they can't warn us ahead of time. They really do possess a unique set of skills. Rome has more homeless cats per square mile than any other city in the world. As of 2021, elections, and although he didn't hold any legislative power, he was loved by locals and tourists alike. And I think we've saved the most random and silly facts till the end. I'm speechless, to be honest. I'm not even sure how that works, but it sure is a good fact and a great fact to end this video on. Well guys, that is almost it for this episode of Whisper Facts about cats, but I really hope you enjoyed learning more about our feline friends, and I'd love to hear from you guys and your experiences with cats, good and bad. I've enjoyed reminiscing today about cats that I've lived with and encountered in my life, so I'd love to hear from you guys about your experiences as well. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so, and until next time, rest easy, sleep well,